exactly how many sneakers she was up to, so she is very superstitious. Turning back to the St. John's men's basketball team, we now have the opportunity to speak to Tariq Owens heading into his second season playing with St. John's after transferring 3 years ago from Tennessee. So the first thing I'll start with you, Tariq, is I looked at the roster, and it says you're listed at 205 pounds. Allegedly, you've added 10 pounds in the offseason. Is that true? Where are you today physically?
Yeah, so that is true. Right now, I'm fluctuating between 205 and 210. We vastly approaching the season, so um, yeah, that's what I'm sitting at right now. Probably trying to add a couple more pounds before we really get to the before we get into the swing of the season for real. But yep, that's what I'm sitting at. 205, 210, fluctuate between that range.
So boy.
This is my guy right here. This is my
You
man.
Vet never been afraid of the camera. You know he's got to jump in.
Markless event visiting. So you're at about 210 pounds, and I think your story is so amazing. I think for people that don't know it. So into your freshman year growing up in Maryland, you were at 5'10". In about a 4-month span, you grow up. You balloon up to 6'5" in about a 4-month period. Do you still feel like even with the added 5-10 pounds at this point, even where you are about the age of 21, that you're still even getting adjusted and coordinated with your body, even with everything you've accomplished and achieved to this point?
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of really clumsy, and you can still see it, but that's part of, like, I was clumsy growing up, and then when I started growing, I had to really get my footwork down. When I started playing, I had to really learn a lot of different things. Actually, Coach Matt, one of our coaches the other day in practice, just asked me, he's like, why are you so clumsy? And like, we just had this conversation. I had to tell him, like, well, I was clumsy growing up, and then after I grew, I just never got my clumsiness under control. It's just something that's there, yeah. I think it's going to be there to stay, actually.
Well, one thing you stand out in as a shot blocker. You led the Big East in shot blocking last year, and that's going to continue this year. That's one of your biggest roles is the defensive anchor. I want to talk about the offensive end of the game for you because I know you take a lot of pride in that too. A lot of people think you're just a rim runner, a guy that can catch lobs. But what have you worked on during the offseason to be more balanced on the offensive end?
This offseason, I really worked with the coaches a lot. Jump shooting, like shooting my jump shot and creating my shot from areas where I can be effective. We really focused on key areas like the block area, high post area, catching at the elbows, facing up, jab jumpers, rip throughs, different series of moves. Just trying to get down a couple moves that I'm comfortable with, that I have down packed, to really work on both sides and just open up the lane for me to score a little bit, and just increase my role a little bit more because there's more that I have to do in order to be able to help our team for us to be successful. It's a lot that we all have to do to be successful for the jump that we're trying to make as a team.
And Tariq, so much of the focus has been in this preseason about this program getting better on the defensive end. We know what you can do blocking shots. How do you find that balance as a super shot blocker to become a better rebounder as well, that balance between going for the block shot but then maintaining your assignment? And while a box out is not flashy or a great statistic, but it's still at times just as important, how do you try to manage that and that subtlety of making the entire 5-on-5 defense be better?
Like you just said, the entire 5-on-5, we have to do it as a team. I can't do it by myself. When it comes to blocking shots, if the person who's on the ball, guarding the ball, is staying in front of the man and stays attached, it'd be easier for me to gauge when to go block the shot and whether I have a better chance of blocking the shot or if I should just stay home and box my man out if the defense, does a good job corralling him and make him shoot a tough shot. So we have to do that as an entire team, as a five. We have to talk to each other. We have to communicate. So those are things that we really worked on this summer. That was a major focus for us, turning up our defensive intensity. For me and Kasum, cutting down our fouls, learning when to go, when not to go, when to stay home, and on our perimeter guys, working on staying in front of the ball, and, how to play help side defense and how to really help each other out on the defensive end.
Well, looking at this year as a whole, everyone's excited. You guys have picked 6th in the league this year, and a lot of people feel like you guys have the talent to make the next jump going to the postseason, whether it's the NCAA tournament or the NIT. How do you feel about this new team with the addition of Marvin Clark, Justin Simon, and your chances to go to the postseason?
I feel really good. I felt good last year about our team, just as I do this year. This year we've added some really big pieces, like you said, Marvin Clark and Justin Simon, but they're not the only two. We've added C.D. Keita, who's sitting out this year, and Mikey Dixon, Boo Boo Carr. We've added some pieces who are really gonna help us. Even though Buki's sitting out, he's gonna help us a lot, just being vocal and with our team. Mikey and C.D., they're gonna be on our practice team. They're gonna help us out this year a lot, and what we gotta do because they're both really good players. Now Marvin and Justin coming in, those two are gonna be really good for us. I really love playing with them. I loved playing with them last year when they were sitting out. Our whole team loves playing with them. They bring a different level of intensity that we need. The programs that they come from, they don't accept anything less, and that's what they're really bringing to the table. Marvin's bringing his leadership, his voice, which is something that we lacked.
Yeah.
So him coming in, he's had a major role in helping our team out, and so has Justin. So as the season just approaches, we just get more and more excited, and I'm getting more and more excited just to play with these guys and, go out there and have fun with this team that we have.
Tariq, all the best. Back in the media room, by the way, I think there's a lot of chicken parm left over. All the media here didn't eat it, so if you wanted to add a few pounds today, I think that could be your next stop. Thanks so much for joining us here and have a great season.
Best of luck, Reek.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Tariq Owens joining us here, St. John's Basketball Media Day. Tariq, Turner, some final thoughts on what we heard from today and what did we learn, first starting from the